The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
C.D. Lamb, touchdown. End zone, Jake Ferguson.
Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
And now your hosts, Isaiah Stanback, Patrik Walker, Josh Rodriguez, and Kyle Youmans.
It's a wonderful Wednesday edition of Talkin Cowboys presented by Black Rifle Coffee Company, live from the Star in Frisco, Texas, in the SWBC studios. Welcome in, everybody. We've got Patrik "Nosy" Walker, Josh Rodriguez, and Tommy Yarrish to break down this Week 3 matchup for the Dallas Cowboys against those Chicago Bears. We've got Chris Beam in the back. I'm Kyle Youmans. Glad you're with us. It is a return to Chicago for one Matt Eberflus, and today we preview the Dallas defense against that Chicago Bears offense. And so we'll talk about Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze, Colston Loveland, and a couple of those other guys that they play in that Chicago Bears offense going up against Matt Eberflus, their former head coach. Pat, you got the matching blues on today.
I do.
I like it.
I do.
So who is this guy? So
we're going to get you up to speed.
Yeah, I feel like yesterday my mentions on Twitter were nothing about like football. It was all
Macho
about how did you not know who Macho Man was?
Because how did you not?
Just for reference, after the show was over, Josh made me pull up a clip, and I do recognize Randy Savage, Macho Man.
Yes.
Macho Man Savage, right?
Yes.
That's how you're supposed to say it?
Yeah.
I just didn't know the specific.
That's not how you're supposed to say it.
Randy. Oh, wait, what is it?
Are you supposed to do the Macho Man voice?
Well, okay, so I can't do the voice yet.
Macho
You do it.
Man Randy Savage.
Okay.
You're supposed to do the whole thing. Yeah, that's all right.
I didn't know if you wanted like a PA, like you said.
Oh, like an
PA,
announcer.
Macho
Commentator.
Man Savage. That
Yeah,
kind of
you could
thing.
do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nah,
That's how I'm going to introduce Tommy
I really want to
Yarrish.
hear Kyle as a heel commentator now.
He would be excellent at it. He would be a good heel commentator.
He'd be Cody Graves. He'd be Wade Barrett. I could see it.
I could see you getting stunned in the middle of the ring, not for any particular reason.
After
actually
today's
really
show,
funny.
remind me to show you some clips of Wade Barrett and Corey Graves. You'll see what I mean.
Okay.
Like, you would accept.
Yeah, I like it.
So we do have one quick news and note. Cowboys do have that available roster spot on the practice squad after activating Ryan Flanoy last weekend. They're looking to fill that today with offensive lineman Wesley French. He joins the Cowboys. He was previously an undrafted free agent signed out of Western Michigan to the Indianapolis Colts. And at the time, guess who was employed by the Colts? Offensive coordinator Clayton Adams. So obviously French joins the Cowboys to try to provide some depth with Cooper Beebe going on IR for what could be up to 6 to 8 weeks, and he'll be behind Brock Hoffman and TJ Bass. So just one quick little note there, transaction Cowboys are going to do today.
Tommy, what have you seen when it comes to the French?
Yeah, I think, I always think back to what Brian Schottenheimer told us at training camp is, when we saw TJ Bass taking reps at center, and it was like, oh, well, what do you see there? And he just loves having guys who can snap the football, and he wants depth in that position because something happens to your center. That snap is not necessarily the easiest thing to have down sometimes, especially when your starter and your quarterback have things down pat. So he likes having depth in terms of guys who can play center. You've got that in Trevor Keegan, who was listed on the unofficial depth chart as the backup center to Brock Hoffman now. TJ Bass will be another guy that's kind of in the mix there. And now you've got Wesley French, who's undrafted 2022 out of Western Michigan, spent his first 3 seasons with the Colts. He's played in 17 games, I believe, throughout his career so far. So just another guy that you can have and trust to snap the football. And now it's all about building rapport with Dak Prescott and the quarterbacks and getting things worked out.
Well, and to answer your question with the other news and note, this gentleman's name is Goku, but for the cultured, it is Kakarot. Kakarot for the culture, right here, right there. See that?
Yeah, he's on the laptop.
That's that guy.
Oh, that's right. I remember that now.
That's right.
These
are just different levels. These are just different levels.
This is like the power up.
This is more powerful
level
than the one on the laptop.
Are you familiar with him?
No,
Tommy.
I don't watch.
Oh, come on.
I don't watch backward cartoons, dude. I'm fine.
All right.
So,
Dude, I said
Go
that
go
the
read
other day.
your backwards cartoons.
Sorry,
Call
what?
it a day.
Can we kick him off the show?
Are you
could.
not proficient enough to be able to read a manga from right to left?
I'm not privy to backwards cartoons, man. Enjoy your-
I called it a cartoon.
See, but you do it,
just
though.
the other day when we were up top and we were talking about anime, and I was like, I'm not big into cartoons, and they both whipped around so
Yeah,
fast.
he tried to draw us
winked-
off sides.
bait.
I
but-
winked at Patrik, so he didn't jump off
Yeah.
sides. Tommy was like 15 yards in the back.
No, I wasn't.
Tommy
He
was
didn't
like,
get me with the
can
hard count.
we fire him?
I was ready to- I was ready to go.
Yeah, it was really funny.
I was Sam Williams in 22. I was
Not necessarily for-
I was ready to jump that.
Dragon Ball Z I can get down with for the most part, but any
It's
like
a
it,
start. It's a start.
Well, you talk about raring to go. Like we talked about right at the beginning of the show, Matt Eberflus makes his return to Chicago. And one thing that stuck out to me in Brian Schottenheimer's early press conference this week, Josh, is the fact that he said it's not worth it. He's been in this position before,
Yeah.
going up against other head coaches or other spots where he's been a part of that organization before. So he said he's been a part of teams that have gone to Seattle, tried to do too much, and then gotten his butt kicked. Same thing with New York.
Yeah.
Same thing with some of those other stops. And he said he shared that message within the defensive room this week. Do you agree? Is this an opportunity for Matt Eberflus coming off of a down game for his defense to say, let's not do too much. We got to get back to the basics.
how could you not feel a little type of way about going into Chicago, the team that fired you after an embarrassing season, in the middle of the season? Come on, man. Of course you're going to feel a little bit of that. But I think what Schottenheimer's saying is just stay focused. Just stay focused on the job at hand, the task at hand, and make sure your guys are ready to go. It's not necessarily about you. It's about your guys that are on the team. But we've seen it before, man. Like, McCarthy had a few matchups against Green Bay that did not go well for us. Obviously, they had his number. It wasn't pretty. We've seen this a few instances of, specifically that division, but I'm saying, like, this is just too critical of a game. This is probably one of the easiest games you'll play over the next few weeks.
I don't
of course,
like that word easy.
When
when
you
you're
look
looking
at
at
the
the schedule, that's what you're getting. I know it's a young season.
fair. Continue.
I mean, easy
we'll say
as in
winnable.
yeah,
Let's not say easy. Let's say winnable.
Yeah.
not easy.
One of the more
Nothing's
winnable.
easy in this league.
Yeah.
Winnable.
Sunday was supposed to be easy. So
Right.
That's what I mean.
Exactly. So I just think there's a lot at stake here, and you just have to be focused on the task at hand. That's where I'm at with this. Of course, Eberflus is going to feel a ways about it. What do you think, Tommy?
Yeah, I think naturally as a competitor, when you had the 3-year stretch that Matt Eberflus did in Chicago, where really there was no continuity, nothing went right. I don't think the Bears did a good job hiring a staff around him in 2024, his last season there. You've got a rookie quarterback who's the number 1 overall pick, and you feel like you've done a really good job to surround him with weapons, but your offensive line isn't all that great, and you give up the most sacks in NFL history. I think there is a part of this that Matt Eberflus wants his get back in this game, but at the same time, Matt Eberflus is a really even-keeled guy. This is not a guy who gets too high or too low, and I think him coming back in Dallas is kind of just a big sigh of relief because some guys, and I've talked about this on the show before, this isn't a shot at anybody's coaching acumen or what their ability to do is, but some guys just aren't made to be head coaches, and that's okay. You can be a very successful defensive coordinator and stick around a long time in this league, and I think that's where Matt Eberflus has had the most success over the course of his career in Indianapolis. He obviously did a good enough job to earn the head coaching job in Chicago, so I think he'll be even-keeled coming into this, especially I think what he's more focused on is, man, we just gave up 450 yards to Russell Wilson and the Giants. How do we take that off of the board before we go to a big game like this? So I think that's really where the focus is. Of course, there's going to be a little part of him that as a competitor says, hey, I want to show him something here, right? I want to show him that they shouldn't have fired me. They shouldn't have let me go. They should have given me time. Because in the NFL, frankly, you don't have a lot of time as a head coach. If you
Shotty said it himself. He's like, we get fired all the time.
Yeah,
that's just the way of the business.
If you don't get things rolling in 2-3 years, your seat starts to get hot, and that's just how it rolls now. So you got to figure it out.
With all of that being said, I think the same thing can be flipped on the other side, but it's in the early stages for Ben Johnson.
Right.
Same thing. Some guys are not meant to be head coaches. They're great coordinators. The jury is still out for an 0-2 Ben Johnson going into his third game, second game at home. He's trying to get his first win overall. And if there's anybody that is familiar with calling plays against Matt Eberflus over the last couple of seasons, it would be a guy who played him in the division and was the offensive coordinator for the Lions going into that matchup.
Right. When it comes to, the emotional component of it, these guys aren't robots, so they can say the right things, and we love to hear them say the right things. But to Josh's point, there's going to be that feeling that kind of starts to well up in you as the buses are approaching the stadium.
They're still competitors.
Right. As you walk onto the field in the other team's uniform, you're going to start to feel a little bit of that trauma you felt when you got pulled into the owner's office and you got the pink slip. That being said, it is of no consequence. It should be of no consequence to this game because it exists on both sides of the ball. So what you hope is that when you look at the Bears staff and they have guys like Al Harris and they have guys like Cannon Matthews, these guys who went to Chicago from Dallas, you hope that they let their emotions get in the way, but you need your coaches to stand pat and be as professional as possible. I'm of the mindset of when it comes to going back to a place that you want so desperately to prove that you were better and more valuable than they thought you were or gave you credit for, just handle your business as best as you need to, get the win, and then you take it in and say, yeah, now I showed you. But park that. Park that until it's time to get back on the buses and get the hell out of town because you cannot afford to go into this game. And I love what Josh is intimating here. It would be selfish. And Mike McCarthy, after the Green Bay game, after the Green Bay homecoming, he admitted and took accountability for that selfishness of overcoaching because he wanted so desperately to get that win. And what happened? Yes, they should have won that game. And then when that game, you dropped the ball.
I don't want to talk about that.
But what I'm saying is don't overcoach this based upon the emotional component. Go in, take what you did wrong, which was a lot on defense if you're Matt Eberflus. Take everything you did wrong and just key in on that and just focus on that. It shouldn't matter if you're in the Bears stadium, if you're in the Lions stadium, doesn't matter this week where you are. What you should be focused on is the fact that Russ almost hung 500 yards on you and that you narrowly escaped because of Dak, CD, George Devontae, and Brandon Aubrey. If not for those guys, it's a different conversation. So what you can't do is go in, be selfish, be emotional, try to overcoach guys because you want this win so desperately, and then you fall to a team you should beat, and now you're 1-2 with Green Bay up next.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
You must be dangerous but in control, much like Piccolo of Dragon Ball Z.
Wow.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Wow. But,
which one?
But you could
the green or the orange?
Green.
You don't even know about the orange, do you?
No.
I don't know. The orange is the villain.
Wow.
I thought that was a trick question. I was like, it's Piccolo.
It's not a trick question.
He's green.
He's mostly green. The orange is the villain.
All right, go ahead.
So I was just looking back at the numbers and the last 6 matchups that Ben Johnson and Matt Eberflus have faced off against one another
as play callers.
Mm-hmm. The Lions have scored 34, 23, 13.
Hey,
there you go.
One. Yeah,
so
good job,
Coach.
31, 41, 31 again.
Oh,
so 30 or more points in 1, 2, 3, 4 of those 6 matchups.
Here's where I would counter, because facts are facts, right? But multiple things can be true at the same time. While all of that's true and most of that is ugly, the Bears don't have the artillery on offense that the Lions did when Ben Johnson was calling those plays.
it's true. They don't have Amon St. Brown. They don't have Jared Goff playing at a high level. They don't have Jahmyr Gibbs or David Montgomery or any of those.
Nor do they have a veteran
the best
quarterback.
offensive line in football.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Nor do they have a veteran quarterback that has pocket awareness and can read defenses.
Yeah.
You can easily panic Caleb Williams and get him off his spot, and then it's Sacksville's turnovers. So
it's happened quite a bit.
So yes, Ben Johnson owns the matchup in a very big way. But the artillery that he had in Detroit is not existent.
It's very different. Very different.
Not existent.
Yeah, and when you look at the Bears in their first 2 games of the season, first team in NFL history to start a season against 2 teams that won 14 or more games the year before. So they've had their tough spot of the season right up at the jump.
Welcome to the NFL, Ben Johnson.
Lions were 15-2. The Vikings were 14-3 last year, and they were able to go up against those two teams, and you kind of got what you expected out of them. Looked decent against the Lions. Against the Vikings. Kind of hung in there.
Should have won that
Vikings
game.
are a tough, Vikings are a tough team to read right now.
Yeah, they always are though.
Yeah, and they looked like garbage on Sunday Night Football against Atlanta.
Terrible.
That was one of the worst Sunday Night Football games I've ever
Now we
watched.
don't
J.J.
know because
McCarthy,
J.J.
what are we-
McCarthy goes
what are
down
we
again.
doing?
But he went down last year, and then Sam Darnold came out and had an MVP caliber year. J.J. McCarthy goes down again this year. You just don't know.
And apparently they were going to bench him and then decided not to at the last minute.
His body benched him.
Yeah.
So there's that.
They're ready, Carson Wentz.
Yeah, I was about to say Carson Wentz is starting there this week,
he is.
right? Wow.
It's Carson Wentz against Jake Browning on I think it's Thursday.
Oh, prime
gross.
time. Quick clarifying point for Greg Hutchins. What I was saying was don't overcoach. I'm not saying don't send guys and don't get after Caleb.
Just don't coach at all, dude.
What I'm saying is don't
No.
force your guys to press because they so desperately want to get a win for your revenge attribute. Like that's not what I'm saying. Call your game, scheme your game, execute your game, get the win, and then stand at midfield, and you can put up as many middle fingers as you like at that point. But just stay the course. Keep the main thing the main thing.
Yeah. Just to clean up that stat, too, that I had with the Bears playing against the Vikings and the Lions, can I give you KY's stat of the day?
Hey,
Let's do it.
Is it time for
Slide
that?
it in there,
Slide
buddy.
This
it
is
in.
wild. Only 4 teams in NFL history have started a season against 2 opponents that have a higher combined previous season win percentage than the 2025 Bears. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So out of the teams that they've played, the combined win percentage between the Vikings and the Lions from last year higher than all but 4 teams. You want to hear the 4 teams?
Come on with it.
This is wild.
Come on with it.
1921, the Rochester Jeffersons. That's a real team.
They still talk about those guys.
They were moving on up that
This is
year.
a real team. Also in 1921, the Cincinnati Celts.
Yeah, the Celts.
What is a
man.
Celt with a C? Or is it a Celt?
That's a
I
Celt.
think it's
It is a
Celt.
Celt.
Yeah, like Celtic.
Like
Okay,
Celtic,
cool.
Celtic.
Just making sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. 1927, the Chicago Cardinals.
The Chicago Cardinals.
Cardinals, not the Bears. Not the Bears.
Wow.
And then finally, also in 1921, the Columbus Panhandles.
I'm sorry.
Those are the 4 teams that had a higher.
Someone had it up for Ben Johnson, man.
I can't get past
Good
the
Lord.
Jeffersons.
You,
I can't.
you talk about a core 4 of NFL history. Like that's. I mean, we still talk about those teams to this day. The
Rochester Jeffersons.
the Rochester Jeffersons.
Jeffersons, man, they're still rolling.
Man,
Oh,
that's
my God.
insane. There you go. KY's stat of the week. You're the smartest one in the room now. I challenge everybody that's watching or listening to this podcast.
There's no B in that.
Just try and work Rochester Jeffersons into your fantasy football conversation this week somehow.
That's my
some
fantasy
way.
football name, actually.
Yeah, maybe switch your name. I don't know. Figure it
The
out.
Jeffs, if you will.
And their schedule's not getting any easier. They've got Washington in a couple of weeks, then they go to Baltimore, then they go against Pittsburgh, Philly, Green Bay twice in 3 weeks with the Browns in the middle. So I guess there's a get right game. San Francisco, and then you end the year with Detroit. So
I got a friend
man.
that predicted 10 wins for the Bears this year, and I just
Dumb prediction.
How did they get to 10?
we got 16 games left, fellas. 16 weeks left, I should say.
shouts to my friend.
And that
I
support him.
So what?
Well,
hope that happens for
I've got
everybody.
16 more weeks until I'm wrong. So,
Why'd you admit? You could have just gotten out.
yeah.
well, now I look even better if I'm right. So, we'll see. I thought they would be much. I thought they would be much better than they are
play
right
the
now. I
lottery,
thought they would be. I think they should be 1-1, but they just completely let that game go away.
They did. They let that first game slip.
They're about to be 1-2, or 0-3.
I hope so.
1-3.
We'll see. Yeah.
When we come back,
Brother, this guy stinks!
Thank you, sir.
how do we get to that point if you're the Dallas Cowboys going into this Week 3 matchup against the Chicago Bears?
Never
We continue flipping the defense and the preview against Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears. It's a Wednesday. It's a defensive preview. We've got more Talking Cowboys after this.
I love you.
Every day begins with a promise to work hard and to build a future. That's why we're here, providing the tools, expertise, and John Deere equipment you have relied on for generations to help you get the job done right. We're with you. That's our promise to you, because no matter the project or the challenge you're facing,
We're with you. We're united.
If you're looking for fresh American roasted coffee that gives back, you need to head to your local grocery store and pick up a bag of Black Rifle coffee. That's right, America's coffee is now available in the coffee aisle of a grocery store near you. Black Rifle Coffee Company is veteran-founded with a mission to give back to those brave men and women who have served our nation. Every bag, box, or can you purchase helps support that mission. Head to your local grocery store and roast yourself some Black Rifle coffee today.
How's it going? You see that Cowboys game?
Oh, I watched. Been seeing some good things.
Totally. They have some talent.
Yup, some great talent.
And they got some fight.
Hoping this is the year.
Me too. Oh, I'm Cody, by the way.
I'm Travis.
Nice to meet you, Travis. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys!
Make a new friend based solely on their shirt choice. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation.
I'm home.
Hey, Mom, before you ask, I've done my homework and the dishwasher's unloaded.
Nice. Hey, can you...
Hey, hon, yes, I've got the finale ready to play. Here's your wine.
Wow.
Isn't it nice not having to ask? We think so. That's why if there's a network interruption, AT&T will proactively credit you for a full day of service, guaranteed. Credit for fiber downtime lasting 20 minutes or more, or for wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impact 10 or more towers. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for details.
Back to Talkin Cowboys.
Back here on Talking Cowboys, presented by Black Rifle Coffee Company. This portion of the show is brought to you by Invisalign, the official smile of the Dallas Cowboys. Back with Patrik Walker, Josh Rodriguez, Tommy Yarrish, Chris Beam in the back. I'm Kyle Youmans. In the break, we decided to look up what the Rochester Jeffersons jerseys look like.
Talking Jeffersons.
I'm talking Jeffersons.
Fire.
Bro, these are sweet.
Fire.
Yeah,
Look
the
at
Jeffs.
that. That's a sweet jersey. It just says Jeffs on it.
I got to do
Yeah, I
it.
With
like
the
that a
long
lot.
sleeve
I gotta
jersey.
do it. And then look at the
Oh, that's
look at the sweatshirts
2024
and the
Dak
hoodies.
Prescott would be.
That's fire.
In love.
Oh, I might have to cop.
I don't think they had those designs back in 1898.
I have to
Well, this is
cop.
1921.
Well, they also didn't have. You know what? Let me stop. let me chill. Let me
where you were
chill.
going.
There are a lot of things they didn't have back then. Let's just say that.
Yep.
Let's just
Glad
say
you
that.
stopped there. Thank you for stopping.
If
I
you know, you
appreciate
know,
you.
and I'm sure you know.
Thank you for stopping. All right. Secondary woes is the title of this second segment. The Bears have some weapons. They have some
Absolutely.
speed. Josh, when you look at the film from the Bears in their first 2 weeks of the season, we talked about not having the same level of weapons that Ben Johnson had in Detroit, but he doesn't have a shortage of them in Chicago either.
No, not at all. Rome Odunze is a dude, second-year wide receiver, and Caleb Williams isn't doing a lot of great things. The one thing that he is doing really great is getting the ball to Rome Odunze. Yeah, I believe he already has 2 touchdowns already on the year. He arguably had a really great game against the Lions, even though that was a losing effort. Got 52 points scored on him. That's not the offense's fault necessarily, unless you're turning the ball over. But Rome Odunze is a dude. If Wan'Dale Robinson was any impression on you, if the Giants receiving core as a whole scared you, you should be scared of Rome Odunze. I really think you need to watch out for him. You need to watch out for DJ Moore. And as far as other weapons on the offense go, DeAndre Swift, I know we've talked about him a little bit. We were talking about him before the show. His north to south isn't great, but this guy is really fast. It's in his name. He's a swift, fast, even pass catching receiver when it comes to his threat that he gives you, that he provides on the offense. He's a fast guy. You need to account for him, especially if he's running on the outside. I think if you run him to the outside off of the right tackle, and his name eludes me right now. I wrote it down. Darnell Wright, who has a PFF grade of 90 when it comes to his run blocking.
Is that good?
It's pretty darn good, bud. But then again, PFF, I don't know if they're watching the film necessarily, because the right side doesn't look great necessarily when it comes to pass blocking. He has an 80, so take that what you will. DeAndre Swift you have to account for, but Rome Odunze for me is like the glowing light. You need to account for that dude all day, every day.
And he is. He has 3 receiving touchdowns through the first 2 games. He's averaging 12.7 yards a reception when he brings that ball in. Unfortunately for the Bears, and fortunately, hopefully for the Cowboys, Caleb Williams, again, he can get knocked off of his spot easily. He can get panicked easily. You have to just make sure you rattle him to keep him from being able to get the ball to guys like Odunze and Moore. Those are going to be your top 2 targets that you need to circle if you're Matt Eberflus. As far as DeAndre Swift, I know that guy quite well for obvious reasons.
Go Dogs, you can't say it.
Oh, he beat you to it.
He did. Go Dogs. And the thing about DeAndre Swift, and we were having this conversation before the pod went live, is that DeAndre Swift is being asked to do something that is not natural to him in Chicago, and that works in the Cowboys' favor. You mentioned it, Josh, very, very accurately. DeAndre Swift, is great in space. He's great, bouncing to the outside. He's not great at doing the dirty work and the heavy lifting. That's why one of the reasons he excelled at Georgia was because he had the complement of Nick Chubb, the heavy lifter. Okay,
he's pretty darn good.
He's pretty darn good. DeAndre Swift, however, in Chicago is being asked to be that heavy lifter.
He's their guy.
He's their guy.
Yeah.
So that being unnatural for him going up against a defensive tackles room, and I've been waiting a long time to say this, so I get to say it. One of the best defensive tackle rotations in the NFL. Kenny Clark, also Diggy and Solomon Thomas. I just said
You're not talking about the Dallas Cowboys.
I am talking about the
That's the darn Dallas Cowboys.
I'm talking about the Dallas Cowboys. Yes. So you have
I don't know what
one of the it felt good to say. It tasted taste the air. It tasted good, and it's a fact. It's inarguable to me. Solomon Thomas is in demon mode right now. Also, Diggy, we know what he does, and Kenny Clark. Rumors of his demise have been greatly exaggerated. Okay, so those 3 guys up against DeAndre Swift in those A and B gaps, doing that heavy lifting, something that he doesn't like to do anyway. Advantage Cowboys.
Can I ask you one of my impossible questions?
Yes.
Can you rank the way that those 3 guys have played so far? Solomon Thomas, Osa Odigizua, and Kenny Clark, 1, 2, and 3. I want you to rank them, top 3. Go. Because I have an order in my head.
So through the first 2 games, God, Kenny took game 1. Solly took game 2. Osa's been impacting
great.
both.
Osa's been Osa.
Yeah, he's been Osa. I'm going to go.
I know
Kenny did get the sack.
It's Kenny Osa.
It's Kenny
and Solomon.
Osa Solomon.
That's kind of what it should be.
It's Kenny Osa Solomon.
I would argue
that was not
what are you gonna
not
say?
an easy.
I would argue it's Kenny, Solomon, Osa.
That's where I was headed, and it's not anything against.
And
Osa.
I would not fight that.
But that speaks to how well Solomon's playing in the snaps that he has. That drive, what was it, against the Giants last week?
Yeah.
He absolutely shut it down after 3 consecutive plays, which Alex Lilly absolutely killed and sounds
to the sideline.
It was a perfect sequence of events that he edited perfectly.
Yes.
Shouts to you, buddy.
What did Solly
with the
say?
Brad Sham call.
Don't bleep and play with me.
It was great.
Demon time.
Please watch Sounds from the Sideline. You probably already have. But that drive for me, that sequence, come on, man. What are we doing?
That was my point, though, is all 3 of those guys have played exceptionally well to this point. And when you look at the film and you go back, and I think there's an argument to be had about all 3 orders. You could order all 3 of those guys however you want.
And that's a good thing.
Which is great. But when I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, Kenny Clark makes an incredible impact, but Solomon Thomas is a dog this year.
Absolutely.
He's playing
some of his best football of his career.
Maybe ever. And maybe it's because he's coming back home. Maybe it's because he fits in the system. I don't know what it is.
I've been coaching him up a little bit.
That's
been in the weight room.
That's a good idea.
I think it's those 2 things in addition to the fact that he's playing rotationally.
Yeah, and
behind Osa. He gets to stay rested, just like Osa gets to stay rested. They're playing off of each other, which was why we on Talkin Cowboys. See, Talkin Cowboys, we see ball, no ball. We said that Solomon Thomas had the potential to be one of the best free agent signings this offseason.
Breakout player.
Cowboys. Because of this reason, he and Osa get to play off of each other. And that was before they threw Kenny Clark into the mix. So now those 3 guys just get to play off of each other.
It's been really fun to watch. It's so refreshing. You have no idea. You guys probably have an idea.
You do have an idea.
You do have an idea how refreshing it is to watch good defensive tackle film after years of not good defensive tackle film. I mean, since I joined the team in 2019, watching it over and over and over again, and then going through draft prospects over and over and over again, trying to find interior defensive linemen to fix the problem. And now you get to watch it and say, wow, these guys are good. It's really, it's a game changer.
And now imagine a pass rush on top of that.
I know. Well, let's get to that. How do you have the pass rush against a guy like Caleb Williams? How do you get there?
Jadeveon Clowney.
Actually,
possibly.
Look, I want to save this for the third segment. I do want to talk about the secondary, though, because as much as we're giving flowers to the front seven and to the interior defensive line, the secondary was rough. Where do they need to take a big step forward going into this matchup against the Bears and their weapons, Tommy?
I think that we talk about
segment 2 that. You want a segment 2 that?
This is segment 2.
Is it? Oh, we did.
This
we
is
smiled.
segment 2.
We smiled. Okay, never mind. It's one of those days.
I'm going to make one quick point on the running game, just because, yes, DeAndre Swift is better on the outside, and if you can work him inside the tackles, I think they'll have success against the run. But we talk about Caleb Williams and the pocket collapsing on him and him kind of getting out of there. He's done a much better job this year in comparison to his rookie year of turning up field and getting yardage with his legs. I think he did that really well at USC, and it's what made him super special. So he's going to be a threat to turn up field and run on you too. Kind of similar. I'll say similar, but they're not the same player to what Jalen Hurts was with the Eagles in week 1, where he had success running the football when he got outside the pocket. Additionally, Williams on the run, the way that he's able to contort his body and rifle passes downfield is very special. You're not going to see a lot of quarterbacks that can get outside the pocket and throw the ball at the angles that he does and the way that he is able to maneuver his body. Sometimes it hurts him and he ends up making bad plays and bad decisions of it, but he's also going to make some throws that just have you saying wow too. So you kind of have to balance that. And in terms of their weapons, I think they have a lot of them. You look at, we talked a lot about Rome Odunze, the former number 9 overall pick. He was really good at Washington. I think he's really settling into the NFL now. I think he was kind of up and down last year for them, still fairly consistent, but this year it seems like he is really stepping into the role that Chicago wanted him to. You still got DJ Moore, who they're trying to use in a lot of different ways in motion. He's taken some snaps as a running back for Chicago through the first 2 weeks, and then they want to be the best 12 personnel team in the league. They're still getting there. There's still a lot of work to be done, but they've got Cole Kmet, who they signed to a long-term deal a couple of years ago, and then they used the number 10 overall pick on Colston Loveland. So they have weapons. They have guys that can get out there, not to mention Luther Burden, a second-round pick out of Missouri, who a lot of people had as a pretty high wide receiver on their draft boards, but they, interestingly enough, have not been playing him very much. So that might just be hey, this guy still needs to develop. But yes, Chicago has guys that can go and get the football. I think, if you look at them compared to the Giants, they don't have a Malik Neighbors, but I think their overall receiving core is better than what New York has. And so you've got to be sound in what you're doing, and you've got to make sure that you're protecting the seams, which they didn't do a good job of last week. And you just got to hope that Caleb Williams is inconsistent with his deep ball.
And Odunze has had multiple touchdowns already, right? He's got
3
touchdowns
each game, tied for the league in the NFL, I believe.
Yeah,
it's kind of good.
Kind of good.
It's kind of good.
Yeah, I know what Isaiah would be saying if he was here. He'd be like, "You the boys represent."
Yeah, so you said it for him.
Yeah, I did.
What the Cowboys secondary needs first and foremost is to make sure that they're clean on their keys and understanding their assignments and the assignments of everyone around them. What I saw far too often against the Giants was miscommunication. I saw guys out of place. I saw guys pre-snap and in real time during the snap trying to figure out and communicate as the ball is in the air, whose guy is this, right? You see guys running around when the ball is in the air and they're pointing and after the fact there's a lot of shrugging and there's frustrations. That tells me there's still a lot of refinement to be done as far as this unit understanding what Eberflus's scheme is expecting of them. I saw times where Malik Hooker was a little bit too shallow in his depth, and what did that do? That caused Donovan Wilson to float too deeply, and Donovan Wilson does not excel in coverage. He excels playing forward and near the line of scrimmage. He's a box safety. Trayvon Diggs was out of position a couple of times. So first and foremost, get the communication aspect down. Make sure you understand your key, I understand my key, you understand your key, you understand yours, and things will handle themselves from that point forward. But also, and it seems as if Eberflus is hell-bent because of his tendency to stick with zone as his primary. If that's the case, you're going to have to get home with 4. You have to get home with 4. Caleb Williams, Tommy makes an excellent point. He will get outside of the pocket. He will do some damage with his legs. But going back to his days at USC, he makes some throws on the run, crossbody, contorted. It's just like you should not be able to do that and that ball be accurate and that deep downfield, and yet it happens. So you need to make sure that you keep contained, keep him in the pocket, which you can then force him upward, force him vertical. When you force him vertical with his legs, guess who's waiting for him? We just said the 3 names: Kenny Clark, Oso Digizua, and Solomon Thomas. Force him to deal with those animals up front. Do not let him get outside the edges. So this game, if you really want to help your secondary outside of them refining their communication, making sure they understand their assignments, let your front 4 help. This is going to be big on Sam Williams. This is going to be big on Jadeveon Clowney if Jadeveon plays this game. This is going to be big on Ezraku. Dante Fowler's going to have a bounce-back game here. But Josh said something real quickly, and I'll throw it to Josh as an alley-oop. Josh mentioned, because for all of the rightful talk about Jadeveon Clowney's ability to rush the passer, that's a given. What's slept on is his ability to defend the run. Okay? I mentioned this in the impact piece I wrote on Jadeveon Clowney on DallasCowboys.com. Make sure you check out that piece. It's available. Clowney had 6 run stuffs for the Panthers last year, and that was good enough to tie him for second most in Carolina, and that matched Micah Parsons' number of run stuffs in that same category, although it was on roughly 50 fewer defensive snaps than Micah had last year, or only 2 fewer than the 8 run stuffs that Osa had last year for the Cowboys. So I say all of that to say, yes, Jadeveon Clowney is a situational pass rusher. He can get after guys as long as he keeps going forward. But he's also above average at stopping the run also.
And I know you lobbed it to Josh, but I want Josh to answer on the other side of the break, because we are going to talk about this front 7 and how they can get home against the Chicago offensive line. More Talking Cowboys right after this.
I'm home.
Hey, Mom, before you ask, I've done my homework and the dishwasher's unloaded.
Nice. Hey, can you...
Hey, hon, yes, I've got the finale ready to play. Here's your wine.
Wow.
Isn't it nice not having to ask? We think so. That's why if there's a network interruption, AT&T will proactively credit you for a full day of service, guaranteed. Credit for fiber downtime lasting 20 minutes or more, or for wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for details.
If you're looking for fresh American roasted coffee that gives back, you need to head to your local grocery store and pick up a bag of Black Rifle coffee. That's right, America's coffee is now available in the coffee aisle of a grocery store near you. Black Rifle Coffee Company is veteran-founded with a mission to give back to those brave men and women who have served our nation. Every bag, box, or can you purchase helps support that mission. Head to your local grocery store and roast yourself some Black Rifle coffee today.
Welcome back into Dear Doctor, the show where I answer life's questions with an ice-cold can of Dr. Pepper. Sheila, let's hear from our next caller, would you?
Dear Doctor, my friend supported me during a tough time, but what's the right gift that says, thanks for being a shoulder to cry on?
Okay, this one's easy. I say give her a delicious Dr. Pepper. Nothing says, thanks, girl, better than a one-of-a-kind soda. Yes, any Dr. Pepper flavor will do. Now, just a reminder that I don't need to be a real doctor to know that Dr. Pepper is the one you deserve.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code Cowboys VIP.
Back to Talkin Cowboys.
Back here on Talking Cowboys, I got our comment of the day, everybody.
Let's go.
Comment of the day. Alan Z. He said, tell me you guys saw the video of No C giving Jadeveon Clowney a handshake.
The dap up?
It was literally the Key and Peele sketch of Obama giving handshakes.
Did you see it?
Oh, yeah, I saw it.
Y'all are killing me.
Oh, hello.
It was a huge dap up, and then...
How are you, sir?
Hey there.
Hello.
How's it going?
I didn't even
to everybody
realize-
else, yeah.
It was organic in real time.
Yeah, sure it was.
No, it really was. But then after the fact, I kept wondering why people were sending me that Key and Peele gif. And I was like, why do they keep sending this? So I went back and I watched it, and now I can't unsee it.
Yeah.
Now I can't unsee it, man.
Yeah. Pat posted the video.
I was cracking up laughing
on his Twitter.
because of you guys. My Twitter followers kept pointing it out. I was just like, it's burned in my brain now because that's exactly how it went.
I would be the guy in this situation to like bow unnecessarily. You know what I mean?
A curtsy. A curtsy. Josh would curtsy.
Josh, you have a photo you want to show with the class, correct?
Oh yeah. This is the 1909.
We're still on the Jeffersons.
Rochester Jeffersons.
This is
Check
all
'em
we're
out.
looking up in the break. This is about the Rochester Jeffersons.
This little dude right here was like their right tackle.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine him going up against one, Jadeveon Clowney.
One anyone.
Yeah. Those guys just ran sweeps all day. Shouts to them.
John Barsha, fullback for the 1921
Oh, they had
Jeffersons.
14 fullbacks on the roster.
Yeah.
Did you know this?
Of course. That's all they played.
I mean, everyone in the picture is the same guy.
They had 14 tight ends. 4.
Everybody was playing 3 ways, 2 ways, 4 ways. The kicker was the quarterback.
They only had slot receivers for some reason.
And then once their career was over, they went back to being attorneys.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
You don't think they were incorporating the RPOs into their offense?
No RPO, no modern style.
I don't know how many attorneys were in there. What year was this? Was this the Industrial Revolution? I think they went back to this. Genuinely speaking.
Welcome back to Talking History.
I think this was the Industrial Revolution.
So,
I think they went back to, good old-fashioned blue-collar work.
We can do it.
I just looked one up, and he said he was an attorney, so that's all.
Oh, was he?
Yeah,
just that one.
Yeah, I don't know.
They had one.
I don't know what else they did.
So they could sue the other team.
The Rochester Jeffersons. Welcome back to Talking Jeffersons here on a wonderful Wednesday. All right.
You know who that team could have used?
Who's that?
Maris Leofau.
Yeah, you know what team could use Maris Leofau right now?
Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah. A little bit more of him.
Yes. And I am calling on the Dallas
I
Cowboys.
think I saw Jack Sanborn in that picture.
Probably. I'm calling on the Dallas Cowboys. I'm calling on Matt Eberflus to used one Maris Leofau on every possible snap that you have against one Caleb. Honestly, throw him on offense. Like, I would love to, just give him.
Now we're going too far.
Please.
Going too far.
Please incorporate Maris Leofau in this defensive
somehow.
Please.
Is that the key to getting pressure and keeping Caleb Williams contained? Because that's the biggest question.
Latter. It is the latter. It is keeping Caleb Williams in check. I think it is. I say spy all the time.
I spy.
I'm saying it here.
Naked eye.
I'm saying it here. And even if just the threat of him being athletic enough to catch up to a Caleb Williams, just the threat of it gives you an opportunity here.
You don't have Demo.
I know.
I wish.
But
he's probably closest to out of that.
He's closer than a lot of people see him.
He's closest of that
One
group,
Tommy Yarrish wrote
closest.
a nice article about DeMarvin Overshown, now available on DallasCowboys.com.
What was it about, Tommy?
Yeah, he was upstairs doing a United Healthcare charity thing where he's
just a good human.
Yeah, a really good guy, man. He's making these care packages for families in Central Texas that were affected by the recent flooding. We were able to talk a little bit about that and how he looks at Oso Digizua as a guy that inspires him to do more, and he wants to win a Walter Payton Man of the Year award one day. And I got to a little bit of football too. He says he's feeling good. Getting there was the word he used in the recovery process. Wants to be back before Thanksgiving. Obviously, it's not necessarily his choice. It's the training staff and the coaching staff's choice, but seems to be doing well. Every time we've seen him out there, he looks like he's doing more and more, and he's running around. So good signs pointing in the right direction for Mr. Overshown, but it'll still be a while.
So in the meantime, use Maris Leofau.
Yeah, and I think the interesting thing about Maris Leofau is, you think about Matt Eberflus, and he is one of the biggest descendants from the Rod Marinelli tree, right? So a lot of Tampa 2, you're going to send pressure with 4, and you're not going to blitz very often. He's not a guy who, I think he blitzed a little bit more week 2 than he did week 1, and then it took him until the second half, really, in week 1 to start sending those blitzes. But, I wouldn't be shocked if we don't see a lot of Maris Leofau again this week. Is that the right answer? You can argue amongst yourselves about that. But I think he's going to rely on his front 4 guys to get home. And if they want to get home, Chicago's vulnerable in their tackles. You got the left tackle, Braxton Jones, who has 12 quarterback pressures already this year. He's given up 2 sacks. And then Darnell Wright, the veteran, I'll say veteran. He was the number 9 overall pick a couple of years ago. But he's got 7 quarterback pressures, which is actually lowest on the team. But I think that right side of the offensive line, really, Jonah Jackson and Darnell Wright, is where you can win in getting home in the pass rush. And Dallas's pass rush has struggled to start. This is a great opportunity for them to get there. So that right side, and then if you get around Braxton Jones, I think you'll have some success.
One thing that has been abundantly clear when watching the Chicago Bears is that the offensive line is poor in communication. They've had bad communication so far this year. It's a young season, I understand, but the false starts are a problem. Getting into those first and long, second and long situations when your offensive line just isn't clicking, there's no chemistry as far as I'm concerned so far. And you could argue this isn't a get-right game for the Chicago Bears offensive line, but if that trend continues, it's going to be a rough season for Caleb Williams yet again, a guy that was sacked 60-plus times last year. I really think the Dallas Cowboys have an opportunity to get this offensive line, like you're saying.
See, I thought that was the case last week as well, though, against the Giants' offensive line that was struggling with a left tackle. We saw that in the first drive, and what happened there with James Hudson.
Well, you got a different piece this week, Kyle. Possibly,
it's a little bit
took
different.
him out real quick.
He did not last after that one drive. But when I'm looking at the Chicago offensive line, it's a lot of the same. It's the communication issues. It's the staleness up front is kind of the way I put
it.
There's
no punch to them.
Yeah, whenever it came to the Giants, and it's the same thing with the Bears. There's just no real significance there.
I would argue there's a little bit of punch. I think Joe Tooney's a really good player still. Drew Dahlman's had kind of a rough start, but I think he's a good center too. And that's
I like Wright for the most part.
Wright, he's up and down. He's a better run block. He's kind of like Terrence Steele.
He's a really good run
sense
blocker.
that he's a really good run paver.
He's been that way since he was at Tennessee.
Right. You're absolutely right. And then Jonah Jackson is just. I'm just not a huge fan of the player. I'm not trying to take any shots or anything like that, but I think he's a guy where you can get pressure on. But at the same time, I think Dallas's pass rush is not near the level of pass rush that the Bears have faced the first 2 weeks. So they might be looking at this game like, oof. Finally, we had Aiden Hutchinson last week and Zadarius Smith on the other side, and then week 1 you've got Dallas Turner and Brian Flores does a really good job of scheming pressure and one of the biggest blitzers in the NFL. So they might be looking at this game like, oh, all right, we might be able to settle down a little bit here. But this is almost an entirely new unit. Those interior three in Jackson, Dahlman, and Thuney, this is their first year playing together. They were not playing together last year because Chicago's offensive line was terrible. So they went out and invested in it.
So you don't think they're terrible now?
No.
They're just a work in progress.
I'll say this. The bar is so low compared to last year. I mean, Caleb Williams was sacked 67 times. That is unfathomable. So you can't not be better, right? And I think they've gotten off to a better start. I'm not saying they're the best offensive line in the league, but it is nearly impossible to be... No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying it is nearly impossible to be worse than they were last year.
But not a marked enough improvement over last year yet.
Correct.
Granted, it's early in the season.
Correct.
They've allowed 6 sacks, 2 in week 1, 4 last week. So they are susceptible. And, hey, if that trend continues, then Dallas is due for 6 sacks going into week 3. It's not going to happen.
My reservation there is we had the same energy talking about the Giants.
It's exactly what I was saying.
Line. Yeah, the Giants offensive line. So
until you see it.
It's a league. It's a week-to-week league, right? And you hope, as the Cowboys, you hope that the Bears offensive line doesn't figure out how to start blocking this week, much like the Giants offensive line figured out how to start blocking on Sunday.
Except for the left tackle.
Oh, Hudson, my God. That being said, go in here and stop, and hopefully the Cowboys are not going into this situation looking at the opponent as we're playing the Bears. No. You need to treat this like you're playing the Packers. Treat it like you're playing the Eagles. Treat it like you're playing one of these NFC contenders. That's what you need to treat it like.
I think they will. I think
the
whole conversation that we had at the beginning of the show, when it's like, play within yourself, don't go too much. These guys, if they really truly ride for Matt Eberflus, they're going to want to do something in this game. They're going to want to make some level of impact. And it's only the 3rd time, by the way, that a first-round quarterback will face a defensive coordinator that drafted him as a head coach in the National Football League. It's only the 3rd time that's ever happened since the merger anyways. Rex Grossman played against his former head coach, and then at that point, DC in 2004. He won that game. And then in 2019, Baker Mayfield played against Greg Williams, who drafted him in Cleveland. So kind of an interesting 1-2 there. But it's only the 3rd time that it'll happen.
2 Bears quarterbacks, and Grossman and Caleb.
Caleb Williams. Yeah, good point. All right. That's going to do it for us here on Talking Cowboys. We'll be back tomorrow. We are going to preview the Dallas offense against that Chicago Bears defense. that might be the deciding factor in how this game goes going into Sunday in Week 3, a 3:25 kickoff on Fox. For Patrik "No C" Walker, Josh Rodriguez, Tommy Yarrish, Chris Beam in the back, I'm Kyle Youmans saying so long from Talkin Cowboys. We'll see you tomorrow.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!